Have you ever waited so long for something that your heart began to ache? You made duh until your voice trembled, until the same prayer felt like it was echoing in an empty room. And sometimes in the silence, a whisper crosses your mind, has Allah forgotten me? Waiting can be one of the heaviest acts of worship. It doesn't always come with loud tears or visible pain. Sometimes it looks like a quiet endurance, a smile you wear when your heart feels tired. It's the long sigh after Fajr, when you realize that the thing you've been asking for still hasn't come. But here's the truth: waiting is not punishment, it's an invitation from Allah to come closer, to trust deeper, to purify the way we love our dreams. Sometimes we think the delay means rejection. But what if the delay is actually a form of divine protection? What if Allah is not saying no? He's saying not yet. Not because he doesn't hear you, but because he loves you too much to give you something before you are ready to hold it. There's something sacred about the pause. In that silence, Allah is reshaping you. He's preparing your heart to handle what's coming, because blessings, too, are a test. When you pray for something, your words rise to the heavens. The angels write it down, every whisper, every tear. And Allah, in his infinite wisdom, decides the perfect moment not when you want it, but when it will be best for your akhirah and your man. Do you remember Maryam? When she felt the pain of childbirth, alone under a palm tree, she cried out, "Oh, I wish I had died before this and was in oblivion, forgotten." But Allah was never far. He answered through the whisper of a miracle, a voice that told her not to grieve, to shake the tree, and dates would fall. Even in her loneliness, Allah was near. Even in her pain, he was preparing her for something greater. So if your heart feels empty, if your duh has been hanging in the sky for too long, don't mistake silence for absence. Don't confuse waiting with being forgotten. There's a story behind your delay, a story being written by the one who knows the timing of every sunrise and the falling of every leaf. You see, Allah doesn't just look at your request, he looks at the journey that will make your soul ready for it. Maybe he's delaying your dreams so you can learn to let go of fear. Maybe he's teaching you how to depend on him, not on outcomes, not on people, but on his mercy alone. And maybe, just maybe, what you're waiting for will be given to you in a way so beautiful, you'll look back and whisper, "Ya Allah, now I understand why it took so long." So if you are waiting, wait beautifully. Cry if you must, pray even when your voice trembles, but never stop believing that your duh is already heard, because the one who delayed your dream is the same one who promised, indeed, with hardship comes ease. Surah Ash-Shar 94. 6. The one who wrote the waiting also wrote the moment your heart will finally sigh in relief. So breathe, trust the divine clock, and know the delay isn't a distance between you and your dream. It's a bridge between you and Allah. Sometimes life just stops. You wake up every morning with the same prayer on your lips, the same hope in your heart, but nothing moves. No doors open, no signs appear. And it begins to feel as if your whole life is caught in a long pause you didn't choose. You watch others move forward, friends getting married, people achieving what you've been dreaming of, lives unfolding while yours stands still. And quietly, without saying a word, you begin to wonder, what did I do wrong? Why me? Why not yet? Let me tell you something gentle. Something true delays are not always denials. They are often sacred pauses. Moments when Allah, out of his infinite love, holds you back not to hurt you, but to prepare you. There was once a young woman who longed deeply to get married. Every proposal that came seemed promising until suddenly it fell apart. Each time she cried, she prayed, she asked Allah why, but the more she prayed, the more the path seemed blocked. Years passed, and she began to lose hope. One night, in her exhaustion, she whispered in sujud, "Ya Allah, if this is not meant for me, then please give me peace with it." And that night, something shifted, not outside her, but within. She stopped chasing the dream. She started chasing the one who owns dreams. Months later, she met someone who didn't just fit her list, he fit her soul. And for the first time, she saw the closed doors weren't punishments. They were protection. Every no was a mercy leading her to the yes that was written for her. You see, sometimes life stands still so your heart can move. Because when everything else stops, that's when you finally hear the whispers of your own soul and the quiet calling of Allah. Maybe your dream hasn't come true yet because you've been praying for the result, when Allah wants you to fall in love with the process. Maybe the stillness is where He is polishing your patience, teaching you trust, building the strength that will carry the blessing when it finally arrives. Do you remember Prophet Yusuf? He was thrown into a well, sold as a slave, imprisoned for years, and for what? So that one day he could stand as a ruler of Egypt. But imagine if Allah had given him that dream too early, before the lessons, before the pain, before the growth. Sometimes your waiting room is your training ground. Allah is strengthening you quietly, shaping your heart to hold the weight of what you're asking for. And yes, I know, it's not easy. There are nights when you wake up and the tears come before the words. There are days when you scroll through others' happiness and wonder if you've been forgotten. But I promise you, you haven't. The Prophet said, "Know that what has passed you was never meant to reach you, and what has reached you was never meant to pass you." Termid, your story is written. The ink has dried, and the author Allah himself does not make mistakes. So, if your life feels still, don't rush to move. Sometimes stillness is where the most profound transformation happens. It's in that stillness that Allah whispers, "Stay here a little longer. I'm not finished writing your miracle." And one day, when the time is right, everything will move again. The doors will open effortlessly. The pieces will fall into place as if they were waiting for your arrival, and you'll realize the pause was never empty. It was sacred. There's a verse in the Quran that softly carries the secret of peace through delay. Allah says, "And it may be that you dislike a thing while it is good for you, and that you love a thing while it is bad for you. Allah knows, and you know not." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:116. Every time I read this ayah, I feel something settle deep inside the heart, a gentle reminder that our vision is small, but Allah's wisdom stretches beyond time. We see only the moment, the heartbreak, the rejection, the unanswered prayer. But Allah sees the story, the hidden dangers, the unseen protection, the divine alignment that needs to take place before your dream arrives. Sometimes what we call delay is actually mercy disguised as time. Because if Allah gave us everything we asked for, exactly when we asked for it, many of those blessings might destroy us before they could ever complete us. He delays not to deprive, but to protect. He holds back the ocean until your boat is strong enough to sail it. He withholds the gift until your hands are pure enough to hold it. And maybe He delays not because He wants to test you, but because He wants to bless you differently. There is something sacred about Allah's timing. It's not human timing. It's not bound by impatience or fear or anxiety. Allah's timing flows with divine precision. When we feel tired of waiting, we often whisper, "Ya Allah, I'm running out of time." But the one who created time cannot run out of it. He is Al-Hakim, the most wise. He knows exactly which moment will open your heart, which season will heal your wounds, which encounter will bring you closer to Him. Think of Prophet Musa. When he stood before the Red Sea, chased by Pharaoh's army, his people cried out in fear, "Indeed, we are to be overtaken." But Musa, filled with trust, said, "No, indeed, my Lord is with me. He will guide me." Surah Ash-Shura 26:62. And at that exact moment, not a second earlier, not a second later, Allah split the sea. That's divine timing. That's mercy hidden in delay. Because Allah waits until every false hope collapses so that when the miracle comes, you know it was never your doing. It was always him. There's a beautiful wisdom that scholars speak of Sabr Jamil, beautiful patience. It's not just waiting, it's waiting with grace. It's the kind of patience that says, I don't know how or when, but I know my Lord is taking care of me. It's when your heart learns to smile even while it waits because it trusts that every delay has a reason, every detour has a lesson, and every heartbreak has healing written inside it. Maybe right now, you're standing in front of your own sea, your own moment of uncertainty. Maybe the doors you keep knocking on remain closed, but what if Allah hasn't opened them because He's building a new door entirely one you haven't even imagined? The Prophet said, if Allah were to give the whole world and whatever is in it to one of His servants, and then withhold paradise from him, it would be as if He gave him nothing. Al-Tabarani, sometimes Allah delays the dream of this world to preserve your dream of the next. Because His love is not limited to your plans, it's rooted in your eternity. So when the delay feels long, whisper softly to your soul, He knows and I do not. That's not surrender out of weakness, that's surrender out of trust. And one day, when the puzzle pieces of your life finally fit together, you will look back at this time and say with tears and gratitude, Alhamdulillah for the delay. It was never a punishment, it was protection, wrapped in wisdom. There comes a point in every journey after the waiting, after the tears, after the prayers that seem unanswered, when your heart finally begins to whisper, I trust you, Ya Allah. It's not a loud declaration. It's quiet like the peace that follows a storm. It's the moment when your soul stops fighting the delay and starts resting in it, because somewhere deep inside you begin to see it. Allah's timing is perfect, always has been, always will be. Think of how the world moves. Every sunrise appears at the exact second it's meant to. Every flower blooms only when the soil, sunlight, and rain all agree it's time. The moon doesn't rush its orbit, and the ocean never misses its tide. Everything in this universe moves according to Allah's clock, and your life is no different. Every moment you thought was late was right on time. When Allah delays your dream, He is not taking it away, He's taking you to a place where you can receive it with gratitude, not attachment. Because sometimes the thing we want most can become the very thing that distances us from Him if our hearts are not ready. So He waits, He delays, He gently holds your dream in His protection until your heart is mature enough to hold it as a blessing, not a distraction. There's a deep beauty in this surrender when you stop asking when and start whispering whenever you will, Ya Rab. That's when peace begins to bloom inside your chest. It's the peace that comes when you stop measuring your life by the timing of your desires and start measuring it by the closeness of your heart to Allah, and that closeness, that's the real dream. Maybe you didn't get what you prayed for yet, but look how much your heart has changed in the process. You've learned to cry in sujud, you've learned the taste of tawakkul, you've learned that sometimes silence from Allah isn't rejection, it's an embrace that says, stay near me a little longer. Maybe the delay wasn't about your dream at all, maybe it was about building your relationship with the one who gives it. So now, instead of rushing, breathe. Instead of questioning, trust. Instead of saying, why me? Say, choose for me, Ya Allah. Because every delay carries a secret message. You are not forgotten, you are being prepared. And when the day finally comes, when the door opens, the dua is answered, the dream arrives, you'll realize that every moment of waiting was not wasted time. It was sacred time. It was love disguised as patience. So let your heart rest now. Let your soul soften into trust, because the one who delayed your dream is the same one who promised. So indeed, with hardship comes ease. Surah Ash-Shar 94:6. And when that ease finally reaches you, you will smile through your tears and whisper, Alhamdulillah. I understand now. Your dream is not gone, it's simply waiting for the divine clock to strike your moment. And when it does, you'll see that it was never late. It was right on time. Sometimes the dream you prayed for is praying for you too. It's waiting in a place you cannot see, at a time you cannot predict, being shaped, refined, and wrapped in mercy by the one who loves you most. Every tear you shed watered its roots. Every sigh, every sleepless night became part of the soil where your faith grew. So don't think your waiting was empty. Allah never leaves a believer's patience unrewarded. He turns every delay into a seed, and one day it blooms right before your eyes. When it does, you'll realize it wasn't your dream that arrived. It was you who finally arrived to meet your dream with a softer heart, a wiser soul, and a deeper trust in Allah's plan. So let this be your whisper tonight. Ya Allah, if my dream is written for me, let it find me in the best time, in the best way, with a heart that remembers you. And then breathe, trust, and smile, because the delay was never denial, it was divine love, teaching your heart how to wait beautifully.